Hi folks, we're back cutting through the matrix. I've done articles or read articles on the air before where the social services have gone after particular families, and they're going after them in every country now. But everything's global, you see. It's all through the United Nations, and various laws and treaties have all signed, and they all act at the same time across the globe when these things become law. And Britain is such a mess now with children being stolen all the time by the services. And of course there's always money involved. They get so much per child more from government for nabbing children. And it also creates an air of paranoia, because they train the social workers to be paranoid of everybody out there, especially men. And dads now are terrified to be seen in public holding a little girl's hand anymore, because you just never know. You just don't know. You know, that's how paranoid everyone is. But when they come into a person's life, they turn upside down. They don't need proof for accusation of abuse. And they generally never let go. It's like they get their tentacles in there until they get what they want. And there's much more to it than that. But even the types of workers they pick for these so-called services. Interesting too, I've always gone back to Lenin, who said at the beginning of his little reign there, he said that that basically services would spring up all over Britain, which would be called services, and then the public would get used to them being sort of authorities, and then they would increase and help this authority figure into their minds, and eventually they would become completely authoritarian. And that's all happened. The police services now are just militaries. And same thing with social services. A service is something you should be able to take or leave, like health service or anything else. But I spent the weekend too talking to a couple in Utah who had their child stolen recently. So it's the same across the world. This article I'm going to read here is about Britain. Lenin also, under the Marxian plan, believed in the destruction of the family unit. So it was one method to help that along, mind you. And this is an article from Britain, but it says Deliberate Destruction of a Family, Part 1, and it's from the UK column. It says that the system works like this. First, social services get their set against you under the heading of risk. It may be a next-door neighbour's school, jealous, a vindictive family, a previous error on your part, but one you paid for and now free, or it doesn't matter, you're now on the radar. Well, it doesn't matter, folks. You're definitely on the radar if it comes in. This paragraph really goes against everything I stand for and believe, because I think every child deserves all the love and fun a family can give. But the places where you should feel the most relaxed to showing your love and fun are now the most dangerous, which is the school, playgroup, doctors, hospitals, your own home, neighbours will chat about, whatever. The reality is that so many people have now been brainwashed into the predator syndrome that every male is a threat to every child, and every child thinks that every male is a threat to them. And it's in advertising too, and it's in their school lectures. In fact, these sad people, so scared of sex and so conditioned by the media of the dangers that so-called friends become an absolute danger. You can't trust anyone. They feel so righteous and community-minded, dobbing you in over their concerns about what they think is going on. They think that some casual observation and interpretation through their coloured perspective gives them the right to make derogatory concern about the way you are behaving as a family. They have no understanding of the Gestapo, which awaits the phone calls and the havoc that phone call reaps when they report you. And woe betide the recipient of SS attention, as the ramifications to your complete life, not only yours, but that of the children they purport to protect, are laid in desolation and ruin. If you decide that you're a risk to your children, your family is crucified. It's true enough, they'll nail you to the wall, demonize you. So you must stay out of the radar as best you can, and to do that you must hide your love and enthusiasm for your family out of the public view. You know, you understand everything is Pavlovian training. And this is true. You can't just grab your own child, and give them a hug and put them down and a laugh anymore. You're altering your own behavior, because you know you're getting watched all the time, all the cameras everywhere. And that's intentional. Cameras everywhere is also meant to alter your behavior. You can't be spontaneous about anything, and that's why there's so many cameras in a place like Britain. Anyway, it says, for some that's not enough, because the SS have commenced a policy of removing children from parents who have criminal records, including drugs, and they delight in using their tactics against them, as they know the public will uphold their risk assessment, even though based on lies. They're effectively running an inquisition, and instead of burning you at the stake, they burn your family instead. And then they kidnap your children. It's nothing but kidnapping. And they go through the techniques used there too. And then they mention the court system, which is a real ploy. It's a closed court system, and the parents can't say anything. The social workers go in and give their side of the thing, and then the child disappears into, God knows, a foster home or wherever. But it's an awful situation. It's becoming more and more rampant. There is an agenda. And remember, too, they pick families as well that are fairly bright often and well-educated and have books lying around the house about how the topics we discussed, for instance, on this particular broadcast. And if they see that anywhere too, then you're contaminated. You can contaminating your child with old-fashioned ideas, you see. That's a term they used from the Soviet Union. And that's what they call you. You're contaminated. They don't want you passing on things like morality and such like to your children, you see. So beware those people who come around your home. You can't trust anybody today. Either they're watching Oprah or something. They've just seen a show and their imagination's running rampant. So, be careful out there.